everyone, welcome to Jewels of the Trade, the channel focused on spreading accurate information on jewelry and gemstones. Today we're looking at Pinterest. So as you can see right here, there is actually real jade on Pinterest. Now that's one of the things that we're going to kind of be looking for today. I already did a video where I reacted to Etsy and one where I reacted to Reddit, so you can definitely check those out. I'm going to include the links below. Today we're going to look at Pinterest and see, is there real jade on Pinterest? And more importantly, is there fake jade on Pinterest pretending to be real jade? Now Pinterest really is like a search engine, so please keep that in mind. So tons of different sellers and different types of businesses can promote their product on Pinterest. I myself am a Pinterest user. In fact, you can even see here, there is definitely without a doubt real jade on Pinterest because, well, we've posted it there. So that is kind of something to keep in mind. I love Pinterest just like I love Etsy and Reddit, and so I wouldn't want any of these videos to reflect poorly on those platforms or sellers who sell on those platforms. But I do want to give you guys the tools that you need if you're looking at shopping online for jade. There's a few things to look out for to make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting. If you're not sure why it's important to have natural jade instead of treated jade, because treated jade is really bad, unless that's like what you want, then be sure to check out our video on real versus fake jade. I'm going to include a link to that below. So here we are. This is my home feed. You can see I already look at a lot of jade stuff on here. When I worked in a jewelry store as a CAD designer for 7 years, I can't tell you how many customers we had come in with Pinterest, like photos, for ideas and for inspiration for pieces that they were looking for or design elements that they wanted to integrate into their custom pieces. So I do love Pinterest as a resource for jewelry. Just keep in mind, it's like a search engine. So, you know, not every seller is the same. Let's just type in jade rings and see what comes up. All right, so looking here at first glance, honestly, a lot of this does look real. The kind of pale, kind of mottled green, beautiful, beautiful, very popular. Going back decades, it's been very popular in the US, and of course, it's very popular in China as well. That is an affordable color of jade. So sometimes we call it like a commercial quality, but I don't think that that does it justice. I think it's too beautiful to be called commercial, but that might be how you hear it referred to as. As we scroll here, I'm seeing Baikala. They're a really reputable store. I would trust them. That looks like nephrite, so that seems kind of legit. We have some Etsy sellers featured here. So there's two different gemstones called jade nephrite and jadeite. A lot of nephrite that you're going to see on the market is natural. It's usually not treated. The mutton fat or like the white nephrite that you see, be careful with that because a lot of times if they're going to treat nephrite, they're going to treat it to make it look like the really high value mutton fat, or we might call it white nephrite. So a lot of these are inexpensive pieces. Typically when you see treated jade, like B jade, C jade, and B plus C jade, regarding jadeite, you are going to see what looks like exceptionally high quality pieces for cheap. But honestly, like pieces like this one here, it doesn't look over the top imperial fancy. Looks legit to me. And again, we'd still want to test it, and you can find fakes that don't look like high quality jade, don't get me wrong. It's one of those things where like really having it tested is the best way to know just in general. This is really beautiful. I don't know if this is real, but I hope it is because that's like super gorgeous. That's a Mason K piece. And you'll see a lot of Mason K pieces on Pinterest because Mason K is a vendor that sells to retailers. So a lot of retailers that sell natural jadeite, they're going to sell Mason K pieces. There's going to be a lot of independent retailers on Pinterest. So kind of a good resource because you can find pins with product that you like and you can link directly to that retail store's website. And, it's usually a brick and mortar business. Like you can give them a call and you can talk to them and you can, ask them questions about the piece that they're selling. This looks real and it's appropriately priced. Now, that's not to say that you can't just like throw a picture up on Etsy or Pinterest or your website and say, oh, look, this looks real. I mean, you still, as a customer, do your due diligence. Get as much information on the seller as you can. Talk to them if you can. Get a guarantee, like a report, a gem report, or just proof that it's been tested, proof that it is natural jadeite jade. If it's nephrite, again, they're probably not going to offer reports or need to. Nephrite usually isn't treated. Here's an example of a piece that is not natural, but then again, it doesn't really look like it's claiming to be. It doesn't say natural or genuine in the title, so that's okay. It's one of those pieces like it's probably actually worth $165. This is a very treated look, just so you know. It definitely stands out. Not that natural jade can't look like this, but if natural jade looks like this, it's very, very valuable. So it wouldn't be selling for $165, but really pretty piece. So now it seems to be pulling a whole bunch of examples from Etsy, and I would say that like a lot of these pieces here are definitely treated. This one here, this is beautiful. It looks like water jade. Something like that would be a lot more expensive, a lot more than $65. Just to clarify too, you can find really beautiful jade that's $65. This particular look though that I have in front of me with the high translucency, rich apple green, kind of in that sea of watery goodness. Yeah, that's not something that would ever go for $65 if it's natural. So I've had a lot of people comment and say, well, jade doesn't have to be expensive. No, it definitely does not have to be expensive. But if it looks like that, it does. Got some Walmart. Oh, this Walmart gua sha facial tool natural jade stone. No, I don't know what that is. Probably quartz, not jade. This is not jade. It's not that jade doesn't come in this like orangey yellow color. It sure does. But this to me, it's the luster that kind of gives it away. It doesn't have like the vitreous, greasy luster that jade has. This just looks like maybe dyed quartz or maybe plastic, or I'm not really sure. Probably not plastic. But yes, jade does come in kind of that color. It's not typically going to be quite that even, but I suppose it could be. This, it's $25. It says natural A stone. That doesn't really even sound, that's just not really how you would say it. Like if you're a seller and you're selling natural jade, you want to really drive home that it's natural jade. So you want to say things like, oh, natural with a GIA cert, GIA report, AGL report, Mason K Jade guaranteed, something like that, some type of verbiage that reinforces that it's a jade, meaning natural untreated, because a lot of sellers of fake jade are calling it a jade, calling it a grade A, stuff like that. And we still use the term, but online, for a shopper, it kind of loses its meaning. Wow, this is so cool. It's must sit. So when you're shopping online, typically what you're looking for, if you're trying to determine within yourself if a piece that's called natural jade actually is, you're looking at the price, you're looking at the appearance, and you're looking to see whether or not it has a cert, which is what we call a gem report in the industry. So, or some kind of guarantee, like for instance, Mason K doesn't necessarily, they can offer a report, but if Mason K does the testing themselves, then they call it a guarantee and not necessarily like a gem report because they're not a laboratory. They just offer laboratory services, but like GIA and AGL and like smaller independent labs, they're going to call it a report, like a gem report. And so sometimes people want to have the guarantee and the report. That's totally legit, like makes perfect sense. But it could potentially be a piece of natural jade that doesn't have a report. And so then you're looking at the price and the appearance. And if you're not very familiar with jade, it's very hard to kind of get a handle on what would be the appropriate price and how should it really look. So I'm using this example of this sold ring that is almost certainly not natural. And then again, now that I look at it, it doesn't say it's natural. So I'll give them a little bit of a break there because it doesn't say natural, it doesn't say genuine or a jade. So I guess it's kind of a gray area, like, well, you didn't call it natural, so it's fine. But then also, like, did you say it was not natural? I don't know. I didn't see the listing. It's already sold. Maybe the seller did great. Maybe that's fine. But regardless, we're on Pinterest now. We're looking at this picture of the sold item that was from Etsy, and it's this really rich green, and it sold for $339. So looking at a trustworthy source of natural jade, we can see here on Mason K's website, this is clearly not as vivid as a green. Like this is a really beautiful color, but it's not that like super bright in your face apple green that we're seeing on Pinterest. And this piece with its like beautiful color and in 14 karat yellow gold is selling for $1,270. So you kind of have to ask yourself, like, why would this piece where the green isn't even as pretty and the gold is not as high carat, why is it selling for quadruple, damn near quadruple what this piece is selling for? And so this one that we're seeing here on Pinterest, it's still a really beautiful piece. Like, I would wear it. I would absolutely wear it. There is nothing wrong with having it. It's just that if you're shopping, you need to know that this is not natural jade. Unless the person who's selling it doesn't know. I guess that's a potential too. Like maybe they didn't know that it wasn't a natural jade, so they erred on the side of caution and asked really low for it. But for any of you who are selling jade, like especially on Etsy or eBay, just have it tested. It's not even that expensive, and you can send it into Mason K. They can give you a guarantee, you know, like a testing report basically, that says what it is, and you can use that to sell it for the appropriate price. But looking at this, it's almost certainly not natural. Really great resources when comparing items that you're shopping for online, whether it's Etsy or eBay, or with like a private company. Compare it to companies like Mason K Jade, Sotheby's, Christie's, reputable sources, and then just kind of see, like, if you can say like, oh, well, these look like the same quality, but one's like, you know, 3 or 4 or 10 times the price, well, then there's something off there. And always remember too, there is way more treated jade than there is natural jade. Natural jade is exceptionally rare. This blue guy is not real. What is Wish? Wish. This could be legit. It is priced appropriately. It doesn't say natural. This bangle is 100% natural. It doesn't look like other B jade or B plus C jade. That doesn't mean that it isn't. Doesn't mean that it isn't a good fake. It very well could be. There are really good fakes out there. But this one does not look as fake as the others. I'm just not seeing a report. If it were me, unless I know the seller personally, I'm not going to buy it. Not without a report or some kind of guarantee or, you know, a relationship with that seller. This looks legit. This looks legit, looks legit. I'd still ask for some kind of proof. Actually, if it were me, I would just shop with a local jewelry store, to be honest, and not online. But I get it. Jade's one of a kind, so if you want a very specific thing and your store doesn't have it, then you might have to buy it online. Here's another piece that's definitely not natural untreated jade. Here is a real jadeite jade bangle from Mason K Jade. Super beautiful. Look at that apple green kind of like accent there. This makes me emotional. Anyways, looks more real, looks more natural, really beautiful color. Doesn't look fake at all. It's been tested, so we know it's not. $3,880. So don't tell me that this is selling for almost $4,000 and that something with this kind of translucency would actually go for $240 and be natural. Beautiful piece, not natural untreated. Here is a comparable style available from Mason K Jade that has that kind of like cosmic glory, must-sit look with like the really dark jade. It is jadeite jade. It is jadeite jade. It's guaranteed. It's been tested. $4,730. They're both really beautiful, but they're not similar enough that there would only be a $4,600 discrepancy in price. A lot of online sellers are using Pinterest to promote their product, whether it's natural jade, natural posing as treated, or just treated jade that's not being called natural. You're going to get a huge mixed bag when it comes to Pinterest. I will say I'm actually kind of surprised in my scrolling around that I haven't found a lot of good like resources for information about jade being advertised on Pinterest, and like that's kind of unusual. I know that a lot of retailers, they put information on their website about jade and try to educate their customers. And so that information is out there. Retailers, if you're watching this, you should definitely put that on Pinterest and try and blow it up on Pinterest, because people who are shopping for jade and they're using Pinterest as a resource, and in my experience, a lot of jewelry shoppers use Pinterest as their first go-to resource when trying to get information on a gemstone. It would be nice if some of their first contacts with information were accurate. So companies that know about natural jade and understand the treatments and understand qualities and how to price jade appropriately, they should definitely take advantage of Pinterest and use it to get that information into the hands of customers. For those of you who are looking for stuff like that, you can always follow me on Pinterest, Jewels of the Trade. We have a ton of stuff on here. Our SEO team has just done a fabulous job promoting natural jade product on our Pinterest and information about jade as well. You can follow us and follow our boards and link to all kinds of articles with information. And of course, the Mason K website is a wealth of knowledge as well. And Mason K Jade is also on Pinterest. So you should also subscribe to Mason K Jade and follow them. And that way you can see all of their new blog posts, videos that they share, and of course, pictures of their product that they have available. And that'll also give you a good idea of how jade should look, how it should be priced, And it's just nice to know that this is a line of pieces that have all been tested and are all guaranteed natural and untreated. So thank you guys so much for joining me today on Pinterest. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are there any other websites that Jade is on that I can take a look at and kind of help you guys refine your eye when detecting natural versus treated jade? Let me know. Follow me on Pinterest and subscribe and keep an eye out for new videos coming soon.